Right. So Israeli occupation forces have now issued a statement of their findings into the gruesome killings of those seven foreign aid workers. And their findings will really shock you. I mean, not really, but if you're expecting anything better, then you are in for a shock. I'm going to read the entire statement, right? So, statement reads: Conclusions of the investigations of the General Staff fact finding and assessment mechanism into the incident in which seven employees of the World Central Kitchen were killed during a humanitarian operations in the Gaza Strip. The investigations of the grave incident in which seven workers of the World Central Kitchen were killed in the Gaza Strip as a result of IDF fire was carried out by the Joint Chiefs of Staff's Fact Finding and Assessment Mechanism (FFAM) led by MG Yuar Har Even was presented yesterday, that means Thursday, to the IDF Chief of the General Staff, Lieutenant General Harzi Halevi. After presenting the findings of the investigations to the Chief of the General Staff, Major General Har Even presented them to the WCK organization and reiterated the IDF's deep sorrow about the incident. The findings were also presented in briefings to international ambassadors and journalists. That's what this statement says. It goes on to read: The event occurred on April the 1st, 2024 during an operation to transfer humanitarian aid from the WCK to the Gaza Strip. The investigation found that the forces identified a gunman on one of the 8 trucks, following which they identified as additional gunmen. After the vehicles left the warehouse where the aid had been unloaded, one of the commanders mistakenly assumed that the gunmen were located inside the accompanying vehicles and that these were Hamas terrorists. Yep, blame everything to Hamas. You kill people for fun and then they say, oh, we thought they were Hamas. They're really, insulting your intellect. 7 people, 3 British nationals, 1 American, they've killed for fun. And now they're saying, oh, we thought they were Hamas. Do whatever you want to do. You can't do anything because you are under their control. Anyway, it goes on to say, the forces did not identify the vehicles in question as being associated with WCK. Following a misidentification by the forces targeted the 3 WCK vehicles based on the misclassification of the event and misidentification of the vehicles as having Hamas operatives inside them, with the resulting strike leading to the deaths of 7 innocent humanitarian aid workers. The strikes on the 3 vehicles were carried out in serious violation of the command's and IDF standard operating procedures. The investigation's findings indicate that the incident should not have occurred. Wow. Those who approved the strike were convinced that they were targeting armed Hamas operatives and not WCK employees. The strike on the 8 vehicles is a grave mistake stemming from a serious failure due to mistaken identification errors in decision making and an attack contrary to the standard operating procedures. After being presented with and considering the investigation's findings, the IDF Chief of the General Staff decided that the following command measures will be taken. The Brigade Fire Support Commander, an officer with the rank of Major, will be dismissed from his position. Wow. The Brigade Chief of Staff, an officer with the rank of Colonel in Reserve, will be dismissed from his position. Thank you very much. We are so grateful. Additionally, the Brigade Commander and the 162nd Division Commander will be formally reprimanded. The IDF Chief of Staff decided to formally reprimand the Commander of the Southern Command for his overall responsibility for the incident. Now, listen to the most interesting part. The IDF takes seriously the grave incident that claimed the lives of 7 innocent humanitarian aid workers. We express our deep sorrow for the loss and send our condolences to the families and the WCK organization. We consider the vital humanitarian activity of international aid organizations to be of utmost importance, and we will continue to work to coordinate and assist their activities while ensuring their safety and safeguarding their lives. The IDF once again emphasizes its commitment to fighting against the Hamas terrorist organization while upholding the values of the IDF, the laws of war, and avoiding harming civilians. The IDF will learn the lessons of the incident and will incorporate them into the IDF's ongoing operations. These Israelis, they really think we are fools. And they have every reason to believe that we are fools. Because they have been funding their stooges in countries like UK and USA, and it hasn't affected us at all. And we have been voting those people. Those stooges, those Israeli stooges funded by those, blood money to power. So now, under pressure from America, they have come out with a statement, and as expected, they have blamed Hamas. So we thought there was Hamas. Now, it wouldn't have been a big issue if it was Palestinian, because Palestinians' lives don't matter. They are not white. They are not Europeans. They are not Americans. They are not British. So it's okay. Imagine if there were 7 Palestinians in those trucks. We wouldn't be even talking about it today. We would have forgotten it. In fact, there would just be numbers. But because there were 7 foreigners, including 3 British and 1 American, however unfortunate their deaths were, at least it drew the attention of, America and other superpowers. And Israel was forced to, at least do the ticking the box exercise, launch a so-called inquiry, issue a statement, and we know what they have to say in the statement: blame Hamas. Job done. I think this is a wake-up time. Politicians will behave the way they do. They have their financial interest, they have other interest, or they are compromised. The ordinary citizens, cutting across the ideological lines, they have to wake up. This is a question of the country. This is a question of your generation, the future generation. I have lived in this country for last 23 years. This country has undergone a drastic change. The country that I came to in 2001 to the country where I am right now is beyond recognition. All for the wrong reasons. Wake up. Wake up. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so, because that's one of the many ways to support honest journalism. God bless you all.